are going live.
We got live yet?
I think it says we're live. I think we might be live. Hey guys, welcome to Garage Goons episode 15. I have a guest today, very beautiful man. His name is Phil. Phil, why don't you tell him about yourself? Long walks on the beach.
Yeah, you know, the usual. Bringing it on me last second.
Yeah.
What do I tell somebody about myself, Tyler?
I don't know. What do you do for a living? Where you went to school, if you went to school, where you're living, where you're going to live.
I work as a pit master right now. I worked construction for a long time. Pit master is a way better job than construction, a lot more fun. Went to school, studied philosophy, studied religion. I've been kind of all over the place.
Degree in philosophy? I forgot.
Yeah, through Liberty. Yeah, not a big fan anymore, but
Wait, Liberty?
Yeah.
What's that? Like Arizona, like Phoenix?
No, they're in Virginia. But it was just online. But yeah. Like hyper conservative Christian.
Oh, sweet. So your philosophy was like Jesus philosophy.
Yeah. So like I still have a pretty well-rounded understanding of philosophy, but it was all taught from the perspective of like, but this is the right one.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes against a lot of, I think, the philosophy potentially. But
yeah, because you're eliminating a lot of theories and open-mindedness. Like
just saying like, this is the right one. Like we're going to teach you how to understand philosophy from that perspective. To be fair, a lot of people were pretty open towards like, hey, it's okay if you believe something a little bit different. But overall, it was like Christianity.
There's no like staunch atheists in the classes.
There was no
always like raising their hand like, well, actually.
No, there was no outright atheists. There might have been atheists that were just...
the Poland theory that you guys have to give credit to your whole doctrine is a little shaky there. Yeah, so that's cool. So Phil and I, in a few hours from now, are going to see Kill Switch Engage, which I think it's going to be the first time for both of us. We both were having a discussion off mic, off cam, that we haven't really been to like a rock or well, I guess you went to Kohi, but like how long was that? How long ago was that?
2018 or 19.
So it's been a minute for both of us then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So really excited about that. And I don't know how, I don't think what I think is going to be, and again, we talked about this beforehand too, but like what I'm looking forward to is the fact that like, I don't know if they're two separate bands, two separate entities. So I don't think there's going to be so much more opportunity for like us to see Howard perform some of the songs.
But on their newest album, there was a song with both singers.
Right.
And I think they're for sure going to do that one.
Yeah, like so. I just don't think they'll always be at the same place at the same time. So Howard can jump on stage and
right. I see
and like perform some of the older like OG songs that like everybody loves. So like that's really a special opportunity that I don't know. Like maybe maybe this tour they're doing that, but like maybe the next one they're going to both branch off and do their own thing.
Kind of what I'm assuming is that because they're touring as two separate bands, I'm guessing Howard will only do that one song with them.
So I have a buddy who went because they had 2 dates at Ventura Theater where we're going, and ours is the last day. I think they did it on Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. Really? But some guy, some dude that I went to high school with, he goes to a lot of metal shows, and he posted a story or whatever, and it was Howard singing My Curse.
Oh, okay.
And so, and I was like, oh, dude, that's amazing. Like, how many, did he do the full set? Like, what was the deal? And he's like, nah, he did like 3-4 songs. I was like, perfect. That's all I need anyways. Like, I don't need like a whole discography of like,
exactly.
2004 or whenever they came out with that. So fuck, man, I'm looking forward to it. The only bummer is, man, I know like it's not as much your thing, but I might like make a pit stop at Walmart for like 5 minutes on the way over to get like an ankle brace, but I rolled the fuck out of my ankle. So like, I feel like my moshing abilities are severely compromised.
I wasn't intending to mosh.
No, I knew that wouldn't be you, but I definitely want to get it in.
See what happens.
Yeah. Just
you never
once.
Know. Sometimes
just
you
once.
Up there and...
Yeah, I feel like if you don't have like solid footing when you're hitting the pit, like that's a really good recipe to get like trampled or just like further injured. So, but yeah, no, that's super exciting. Man, now that things are clearing up with COVID, like, do you have anything like, I mean, this is obviously both of us are super into like seeing live shows, live events. That's like how I support artists that I really care about now, because like, we grew up in the music is free era with LimeWire and stuff. So like, I don't go and like buy or whatever shit. I don't think anybody, it's like all streaming now, right? Like, I know you could still buy shit on iTunes and you can still buy shit on like basically every platform and it's saved to your phone's hard drive. But like, I think for the most part, people just pay like a sub.
Yeah. And this is some hipster bullshit, but I don't own any records, but I like the idea of like collecting records. Partly because, more money goes to the artist, but also like you have that like full size album artwork that it was like, it used to be designed to be that size, but the only reason we have like album artwork is from like physical copies of things, I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, if I always wanted to get into it, but it's just like, it's one of those things, unfortunately, you have to have space on it. It's like, it's not cool to be the guy that has like a book full of CDs. Like, I would appreciate that, but I feel like most people would be like, bro, why is that a thing? Like, you have a phone, right? But like, one thing I always admire was like, kind of, I don't know if they're even, I can call it a resurgence because like Amoeba and all of them are closing, but like, I always appreciated vinyl.
Yeah.
Like, when people had like a really good vinyl collection, I'd be like, oh man, like super jealous. I want to do that, but also like, there's like you have to have a table for a turntable,
right?
And you have to have like a fucking entire shelf dedicated.
But like, there's a cool thing about like the dedication towards like intentionality with the music.
Yeah.
Because it like, music is so like almost like just like, well, let me just play something. I don't care. But like with a record, it's like, no, you have to intentionally go put this on. Like, oh, this is what I want to listen to.
Right.
There's more connection, and then you like see the album artwork. I don't know. There's something that's cool about that you're setting more intention towards your music rather than just playing it in the background. And even if you are just playing in the background, there's still something where you're more connected to it. That's cool.
Yeah, I definitely. And I think like anybody, if all like 5 of you who end up watching this are Gen Z, if you want to like kind of get a little glimpse of like the feeling of like being somebody that was like born in like the late 80s or early 90s or whatever, put on an actual physical CD or album and listen to it front to back. Because like back then you could skip songs, but like you were still listening to that and you had to physically change it to something else. You couldn't just like make a playlist unless you burned a CD with a bunch of different songs on it that you could kind of like just, okay, I'm done with this one song. Because like I feel like now, especially in the most popular music in the West, which is hip hop now, like everything is singles based because they know like, yo, ain't nobody going to check out my entire 12 songs. They're going to pick like the 4 they really like. We're going to put those out, put all the money there, and then make music videos. Yeah. And then because they're not going to listen to my project front to back anyways, which is kind of sad, I think. But I mean, I don't blame them because they're just adapting to the market.
Well, and a lot of modern artists that are like kind of on the forefront of understanding where music streaming is going. Most songs now are like 2 to 3 minutes long, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range. Yeah. And there's like 30 songs on an album. There used to be 4 to 5 minute long songs, or like, let's say 3 to 4, probably more accurately.
Yeah.
But like, there would be like 10 to 12 songs. But because of how streaming works, you get more based on how many songs are played.
Right.
So it's caused artists to write shorter songs, but a shitload more songs.
Yeah.
Because you get more money.
And I don't know if that's a chicken or the egg thing, because like, yes, like you make a shorter song so people are more likely to listen to all of it, but also like people's attention spans through things like Instagram and TikTok have like slowly shortened over time. So ain't nobody have time to listen to like a 7-minute like Led Zeppelin song anymore. Right, like the kids aren't into, like we can appreciate
a whole cultural thing. It's not just, but that's a part of it. But like long songs are only in like prog rock stuff now, and other than that, everything's like, it's getting shorter and shorter.
And then like prog rock, like who like
just music nerds.
I mean, people are listening to it, but like I don't think those guys all have to have day jobs, I would imagine.
I don't know.
Maybe if their band started in the 90s and just survived.
Right, yeah.
Like, yeah, but I don't like.
Most likely, yeah. I'm guessing probably there have to be something else or Yeah.
But you know what? I think there is like a little bit of pushback, like as far as like maybe not the length of songs and like I don't know, I guess like how things are clipped and stuff like that, because there are, I will notice like there are certain artists, they tend to fit the same mold, white guys that started in like a hip hop centric genre, Post Malone, Machine Gun Kelly, that kind of transitioned over into rock. So it's kind of, I hate to see that because I feel like you're using something to springboard yourself into something else, but like that's the only way we get new music that have guitar strings and drums in them. Like, I guess I'll take it because like it sucks now, in my opinion, for the most part, but at least it's in that genre, and then other kids will see that those guys making money, getting awards, getting babes, and then maybe make some good shit 5-10 years from now.
Potentially. I mean, like I love that that Post Malone Ozzy Osbourne song.
No idea, bro.
Dude, it goes hard.
Yeah.
It's a good song. Yeah, because I felt the same way, but I'm like, there's a sick guitar solo in it. It's got Ozzy's voice, got Post Malone. I think Travis Scott's on it too.
Oh, see, I like when they like mix things together to stay relevant. Like I like when artists are open to work, like hip hop guys are open to working with rock guys and vice versa. I just don't like it when it's like, when I saw the Grammys like 2 years ago and like Post Malone was doing something with Aerosmith, I'm like, make it like newer, you know? I don't know, like get Youngblood
for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. Like doing a song with like Ozzy Osbourne is like, who's this old man? Yeah, and like, you know, I'm old enough to know Ozzy Osbourne. Right. I was never a big fan of any of his music just because I knew who he was. Then I heard that song and I actually listened to more Ozzy Osbourne because I heard that Post Malone song. I guess like
the thing on that is like that the demo is only going to work one way. It's only going to get younger people like to learn about Ozzy. Like the old people that are like knowing how to use old YouTube and like seeing it are going to hear that, what is this garbage, you know? And they're going to like be like, I can't believe he's doing that, you know? But yeah, I could see.
But more modern rock outfits would be cool to see collaborations with. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying. But also further than that, I think that like it just the generational thing has to translate. For example, like my mind was blown when the Jay-Z Olympic Linkin Park thing went down together because you had prime Jay-Z with prime Linkin Park, and it was just like blew people's minds because like Jay-Z was going to be totally fine never fucking with them, and same thing with Linkin Park, but they did anyway just so they're like, well, we want to do this, and that's something
cool to do.
So I hope we see more stuff like that down the line. So I don't know, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of guys that like flip-flop back and forth. Like every other album, Yellow Wolf is like singing a country song, and then the next one he's rapping. So
the one thing I have always respected about Yellow Wolf at least is that like he's from Alabama, I think.
Yeah.
And he's always tried to at least be like somewhere in between hip hop and country.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's not for everybody, but I do genuinely like a good amount of his music, but it's weird. It's different.
It takes the perfect person to do like that kind of collab is crazy. Cause like country
better than Kid Rock.
I mean, Kid Rock. Yeah. Kid Rock comes to mind. Also like Bubba Sparks. I don't know. A lot of people don't know, but like he's on this like I forget if he calls it like country hop or whatever. But it's like Nelly fucked with some country for a while, and that actually was, you know, it's decent. So I don't know. I think it takes a certain guy. I think you have to be born in like the Midwest or like a South.
You gotta be South, South, maybe Midwest, but
to pull that off. But that's tough, man. But yeah, no, so let's talk about bucket. Who's on your bucket list, bands wise? Because these guys are definitely on mine.
Yeah.
Especially for metal. I told you off camera. System of a Down, Killswitch Engage, and Metallica. And I'm knocking one of those off tonight. And I think next year I'm probably going to see System since they keep touring LA. And selling out. So I don't think that they're going to like turn that check down. So I don't know who's on there.
System of a Down for sure. System of a Down and Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, fuck.
If I can, but I'm also not going to pay $300.
Dude, I was ready. For that. Lollapalooza, I was so bummed when it got canceled because I was like, I'll chop off a limb to see these guys live. But I get it. Money's fucking.
As far as bucket list, though, that might be there's a lot of bands I would like to see.
Right, but I'm saying like Rage, before you die, you want to see them.
Yeah, that would be. I've seen most of the bands I've ever been like a big fan of. I feel like I've
Yeah.
seen most of them, you know,
Yeah.
a couple times. I go to a lot of concerts, but I think, yeah, like Rage Against the Machine is like, that's bucket list level where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to spend a little more. I'm not going to spend like a crazy amount, but I'm going to spend more to see them because that's just like a legendary band to see of like growing up on their music. And
right.
Just the level of like how intense they are.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like the ones that I've knocked off already were like Offspring, which like people are gonna be like, oh, what Offspring? But like, I don't know, in the like 2005 to like, I don't know, 2012 or something like that. They were like really big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I know they kind of, I don't know if they fizzled or.
They were bigger before that, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean they started
like
earlier.
Green Day, Blink-182.
Yeah, like
think,
they kind of like, well, it's so weird because they came out in a time where they got thrown into the punk genre, even though like looking back they're probably more alt. But like it wasn't cool to be selling out shows. Like if you were a Green Day fan, you didn't want other people to like know about
that
them.
Gatekeeping bullshit.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. So like they didn't get like the benefit of like Blink-182, who's like come one, come all kind of thing. Even though because that was like pop punk, whatever. Right, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like they kind of had more of a slow burn, but I feel like they probably have a cult following. But they're also
yeah, they do. Because in like San Diego, they do that like taco festival. Like, well, I haven't done it for a couple years now, but they used to
Sabroso.
do Sabroso, yeah, right. So like they have obviously like a cult following based on that.
Yeah. So that's one of the bands. Tool.
Tool.
I saw them with Coheed actually in 2016 in Arizona. That was amazing.
Don't know Tool's music that well. I know a few songs, and those songs I'm like, this is good shit. I know A Perfect Circle a lot better.
Interesting.
Like, same singer, but
I mean, it's really I love A Perfect Circle too. Yeah. It's like the grungy version of Tool. I feel like Tool is like a lot of like almost prog rock, but it's like very in a weird way. It sort of reminds me of Jim Morrison Doors type stuff because of like how heavily instruments carry the. Enough to where you remember it and it's like very distinctive, but like the instruments kind of carry the band in a way. So I don't know, but I'm stoked for tonight. I just hope that I don't get bowled over if I do decide to go in the mosh pit.
I have a feeling that not that the fan base of a band like this is aging. Yeah, obviously everyone's aging, but just based on the fact that most of the fans of all these bands are probably in their 30s.
It's kind of sad, man.
No, it's not sad. It's just it won't be as crazy. Like I'm guessing the mosh pit isn't really. I don't know if it even is a thing.
I guess tame. Like metal is like a 30 and up genre almost at this point. Like I know
probably
I feel like there's definitely like there's a lot of like young angry white kids that are in the hardcore scene, I would imagine still, because there's hardcore bands popping out of the woodwork every 5 minutes. So which in my opinion, I don't know, call me like ignorant, but like it falls under the metal umbrella. I would hear it and call it metal, and then somebody else would be, oh no, that's like hardcore or like metalcore grindcore. I don't.
To me, it's like if you got this guitar that's just like so goddamn distorted. You have double bass, and you have a dude like scream singing or screaming or growling, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's fucking.
It's metal. It's metal. You call it what you want, like. And you know what? Wait like 5-10 years, they're gonna have like they're already doing it to hip hop. They're saying like they have a different category for like melodic hip hop now for the guys that like auto tune their voice and like sing, sort of rap, and you don't really know what to make of it. You just like it sounds good at a party in the background, but like trust me, like 10, 15 years from now, they're gonna be like, oh no, that's gangster progressive rap, or that's like I don't know. Yeah, the labels on shit is
it gets wild. A little excessive, and like I understand it if you want to like kind of quantify or like distinguish certain types based on like, well, actually you can get really technical, and like on a technical level, I can understand it, and like it's cool if you want to talk about it that way. But at the same time, it's like, man, overall, it's just like it's.
But how self-glorifying is that? Like, oh, I play guitar faster than these other bands, so I must get a different label. It's like, fuck you.
I'm
like,
not math rock. I'm math core.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
like, no. You don't play guitar, so you wouldn't get it, dude.
I had a guy that was that I used to work with that was super into the Satan music, right? Like the hardcore. We're talking like Norwegian, those like Icelandic, all that. And I'd be like, dude, this. And now I've kind of learned to appreciate it in bits.
Yeah, and I've
But-
played you some like pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
shit
I
that
can
I'm
only
into,
listen
but
to
yeah.
like 2 songs of that at a time, and then I
Yeah.
need to switch it up because it is too relentless. But like, I'd be like, all right, so this is another one of those bands, right? And he'd be like, no, this is death metal. And I'd be like, okay, well, what was the one before? Oh, black metal. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, what's the difference? And then he went into this like 15-minute long description of the difference, and like I couldn't understand a damn thing he was telling me. But what I took away from my stupidness and my Metal for Dummies, little Google hole I went down,
Yeah.
was one set of guys were pissed at religion and wore face paint, and the other guys were just pissed at everything and didn't wear face paint. So that's what I got from what actually.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I think metalheads kind of like got super prideful with their shit, so they want to put labels on everything so they can sound smarter.
Yeah, well, and that's a thing with metal. Like I think with if you're going to see a band like Killswitch Engage, August Burns Red, or whatever, like the people are not that prideful.
No,
But you start getting into like gatekeeping culture as metal gets in crazier.
Mhm.
So like people who are like Dream Theater fans are gonna be like, no, like I'm a fucking music genius.
yeah. I get
know.
it. Yeah. It's like musical elitism. Like they
Yeah.
don't, and it's like they're not doing their band a service by like keeping like ignorant people out, because at the end of the day, if you're a band, like you could say whatever you want on camera, but you want everyone to buy or stream your music.
Yeah.
So like if you have all of your fans being like these like fucking dudes that just like, oh no, you don't know about that shit, and like you're like, well, I guess I don't know, maybe I shouldn't check it out. It's like,
But I
it's kinda
bet,
sad.
but because metal nerds are like such nerds, like they're like fucking like, I think like people who are really into metal are just dorks. Like most of the
No,
time,
for sure,
like
100%.
which is fine. But because of that, they're into this like, no, like I need to keep this safe for myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't want normal people getting into it. I don't like they don't want people to be fans. And I bet there's a lot of bands, not all. Obviously, bands want to make money, but a lot of them I bet that are really into like their subgenre are very into like keeping it like pure. Like no, we only want the real fan to get it.
Yeah.
Attitude.
I think also too, it's
I
it's
think.
like whenever a genre of music has like an ugly past, there's like an immediate resistance of music. So like, for example, metal, what was considered metal in the 80s, like if you ask somebody, oh yeah, do you like metal, and they're like, yeah, and they're like into Metallica and Slayer, and you're like, oh yeah, I am, I love Motley Crue, they're gonna be like, what the
Yeah.
flip the table, like, and that's because like metal in the 80s was like basically like pop rock with like really good guitar, and the scream was like, the guy, I can't remember his name right now, but like the singer of Van Halen, one of the two guys was like, "What?" Like David Lee Roth, like that type of screaming. It's like, that they were more resistant to that kind of stuff. Even though some of those guys are great musicians, it was really just like party, get drunk, have fun music.
Yeah.
And then,
It wasn't metal. Like,
right. But back then they were calling it that.
Yeah. But it's so different from like to me, like once like what, like Pantera, Metallica, some of those bands got involved, that to me, Slayer, like that's metal. Like everything prior to that was like,
that's in hindsight though. Like if you were
if
you were born in like fucking 75, and then you saw like
but like people were like, oh, Kiss
Rat
is
or
metal.
something. Yeah,
Like,
no.
to me it's like this is not hard. Like
Right.
it's silly ass like fun.
First
party
of all,
songs.
I love Kiss.
That is silly. Like, that's like I feel like the best description of that kind of music. It's just like, I don't know, like it's not.
Dude, the kings of overcompensation, man. Like imagine being so like mediocre at something, and then you start spitting fire and like fucking blowing shit up and stuff, and now you're like the biggest band in the world, and you gross like over $100 million a year with your merch. Like that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. No, like,
but that's exactly what it is. It's a fucking clown show.
Yeah. And they have some super catchy songs, but like it's pop music, really.
Yeah.
It was 80s pop music.
Yeah.
And same as like Van Halen. Like, come on, man. Like, I just like some of their stuff is just like not metal to me.
Yeah.
And,
like,
and I know they were calling it that then, but I don't know. Like Black Sabbath was more metal than.
Yeah, it almost feels like what. Then you have bands like Decide and Wasp that are kind of like on the line of that, because they're more gritty and growly and stuff. And so I don't know. I just feel like people we're so into like labeling things to the point to where it's like redundant.
Yeah.
So
kind of get too caught up in some minute shit.
Yeah. So what song are tonight? Going back to Killswitch, are you looking forward to the most? Like, what's the one where you're gonna have the white girl in the club moment? Like, this is my shit. This is my song.
So I gotta look because I know there's some older songs, but there's one. The intro song from Killswitch's new album starts off with this insane growl. Like it's so evil sounding. It's so cool. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll look them up real quick.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. My knowledge ends like after like 2006.
Okay.
So
I hope they open with like there's the two first songs from the new album. I just hope they open with these are not showing in the right order. Oh, I forgot. I started using Tidal, and so I was opening Spotify there. Okay, let's see.
Is Tidal cheaper than Spotify to use?
Actually, it's more expensive.
So, but it gives more money to the artist, right?
Yes.
That's the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's actually there's two tiers. There's a $10 a month or $20 a month, and I think the $20 a month gives like quite a bit more money to the artist, but they also have higher quality audio.
Do they also like guilt trip you into like, hey, do you want to like have these people that are starving making this awesome music for you get paid more?
No, there's no guilt trip. They don't push.
I would do
that.
If I had my own, I'd built in abs that it would be like those like adopted dog ads with the sad music in the background, and I would just show a bunch of artists.
Yeah. So the two songs, Unleashed is like one that just starts off really intense, and I'm like, oh yeah, that song rips. There's a good mix of like intense growling and singing, and then the Signal Fire is the one they have with Howard Jones.
I think I've heard
sing
Signal
back
Fire.
And forth.
Yeah.
Oh, that song rips. So I'm hoping those, like, I want them to open with those two songs.
You might have to play like some of the new shit on the way over, so I'm like
sure.
a little bit, in the loop with the cool kids. But I Have the Storm.
I Have the Storm.
I Have the Storm. Obviously, My Curse, Rose of Sharon.
Yeah.
If he does Rose, I'm pretty sure they're going to do Rose of Sharon because that's like their biggest song all time. My Curse, I'm sure they'll do. And then if I had to guess, because inside information, they're going to do like 3-4 songs with Howard. The third one they'll probably do. What's the Dio song?
Holy Diver.
Holy Diver. I have a feeling they're going to do Holy Diver. It's cool, but I hope they don't. I want to.
Really?
Yeah, it would be cool. I wouldn't be mad at it, but like there's like 4 or 5 other songs that I would much prefer.
For sure, yeah.
So
depends on if Howard sings that one or not. If Howard came out to do
they can't let Jesse sing Holy Diver.
No,
that's trash, man. They can't do that. Yeah, you gotta take a seat on the bench for that one, buddy. Yeah, man. Oh man. So now that the mask mandate in California for those who are vaxxed, and this is not gonna get political about what you should or shouldn't do, but like if you are able to take advantage of that, like, and I know you're gonna move to Colorado soon-ish.
That's the plan.
But while you're here, I would imagine you want to take advantage of some of the things that like LA and being LA adjacent does. Like what are some other things that you want to do like before you leave?
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of already happened. I mean, like I'm vaccinated. If there's a place that requires masks, I just keep one on me. So I wear it if I need to, but I'm also cool with not wearing it if somebody I listen to the government as much as I need to, but like this last weekend I went to Venice Beach. We chilled out there. It was very fun. Haven't been like in that kind of environment for a long time. Went to a monster truck rally in Anaheim. Stayed at a hotel. Man, it was a great weekend.
Like that sounds like the redneck tourist itinerary from like this. Somebody coming out here from like Iowa. They're like, all right, monster truck for sure. So that way we can feel like we're home. And also let's go to see Venice.
Let's go to see them California weirdos.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
get a card.
Yeah. That's where they filmed whatchamacallit. Anyways, the joke is dead now.
A lot of stuff is filmed there.
Yeah. A lot of stuff was filmed there. Hang on one second. I'm gonna take this. Go solo, man. You got the mic. Go solo. No dead air time. Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, we're gonna have a lot of dead air time. Anyone who gets this far is in for a boring time. No one watching, no one like. Okay. Fun stuff, guys. A lot of bad audio.
What were you able to say in the camera?
Just bullshitting about absolutely nothing.
That's good.
Talking
That's right on par for the course. That's on brand.
I was looking. I'm like, anybody? No, nobody. All right.
Oh, it's supposed to tell you, right?
Yeah,
No,
I think that one right there shows you if anybody's listening.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
but I mean,
that's what people do when they go live. All right. Well, now we know.
But if you go live, normally you would be like, "Hey, I'm about to go live." You throw a link up on Facebook or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, we don't do that here. That's
fine.
That's way too much work. We promote it after the fact. I gotta watch this to make sure it's not too grainy and the noise is cutting out. By the way, guys, just so you know, there's this is the most trash show on YouTube. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the beginning, but it is, and we are staying right on brand. It's not going to change anytime soon because I have a terrible laptop and even worse camera. Probably the only thing that actually works really well is the mic. I'm really happy with the mic. So, yeah, we just go live because I'm not editing shit. So you guys just watch this stuff unfiltered. And then if the quality is good enough, then I publish it publicly. And actually, I think I forgot to turn this one on private. So in theory, someone could watch this in real time. So that's kind of scary, but
but nobody is.
Absolutely nobody. What were we talking about? Sorry, got a call from the fiance.
Yeah, no worries. We last thing was we were talking about mask mandate being lifted, things I want to do. In
oh right, yeah. So Venice Monster Truck Rally you just did. Are there like? I'm super big into stand up. I don't know.
Dude, I watch like pretty much every stand up special for somebody I know but like people I know of on Netflix. I love watching it, but I've never gone to a stand up show.
You should definitely, dude. You can't walk down Hollywood Boulevard without. Sunset.
Yeah.
Sunset's known for like the venues that like all the '80s bands played at, but really to me, the comedy club scene right there. You have all like basically anybody has performed at each and every one of them, and they're all super amazing.
But here's the thing that I've been annoyed with lately with comedy, is like I'm so fucking tired of hearing about COVID, and like I know that that's like what a lot of people are going to make jokes about on either side of the spectrum of the political discourse.
Right.
I'm so tired of hearing about it. Like I watched like Aziz Ansari put out like a pretty short thing, and I was like. I was just annoyed. I was like, I don't want to hear this. Like, I don't care what your perspective is. I'm tired. I don't want to hear anybody talk about COVID again for like such a long time.
Yeah.
And like, there's no funny takes anymore about COVID. It's just like, man.
And then the tiring thing is like, I would actually watch if like there was like a headline on YouTube, which there wouldn't be because they would immediately shadow ban it, if not like ban it altogether. I would watch somebody who was anti-fucking vax just to see the other perspective.
Just
like,
to see what they would say.
Yeah, every other comedian's like, please just do this. Let's all do it together. It's like, be Adam original. Carolla like, I get it.
Miller are doing a thing. It's perfect for you.
I mean, no, I'm by the way, yes, I'm fully vaccinated, but like, I would watch that just because it's interesting. And it's starting to become like Facebook and everything else, like an echo chamber. But I agree. I think it's like anything else. Like, if you have a really unique take on it, like I remember watching a comedian that was basically talking about like just open everything back up and let like Darwinism take course, like, and it was funny to me. I think then it just takes more effort,
right?
Because like, how many comedians do we hear like? Comedians at the end of the day are going to talk about their lives and make, no one's listening to like knock jokes or like cares about what Carrot Top does with his tricks and stuff. Yeah. So like, they're going to talk about their lives. So like, I can't tell you how many times I'll just watch like YouTube reels of like comics, like 15-minute clips. And like, there's always something about TSA or the airport. And I'm just like, God, dude, like cut it out. But because like, I'm such like I don't want to say aficionado, but like a fan of comedy, I give it a chance because every once in a while there'll be a funny airport story. Will have, something else. So I think it's just kind of like that. You got to take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, like if they get too far into it, I'm like not afraid to press the skip button at all. Yeah,
but I think there's just like an aspect of pandering on either side. Like even with like TSA, it's like, well, everybody's experienced some bullshit at TSA
or the DMV or something.
And it's just like an easy joke to make where you're gonna win people over.
Yeah, low hanging fruit.
Like, and like that's like what COVID jokes are right now to me, where it's like, yeah, man, we're all like kind of collectively like we were like done dirty by so much about how shit was handled, and just like having to stay home, and like there's like a lot of like trauma essentially with all that, and like using that as your platform for like making jokes to me is like, that's too fucking easy. Like,
yeah, I
do
know
something and do, I don't know.
I just feel like people just need to get like more educated and open-minded, like and educated, like, and I mean that in a sense, not like scholastically necessarily, but like look into stuff for themselves, so that way they can actually like not get offended when someone's providing like an alternative perspective that has like some merit to it, because like immediately the other thing that's compounding all this like rhetoric is that you know, people they're trying to cancel people. So like if you have another perspective, I don't want to get into the whole ivermectin thing, but like Joe Rogan is an example. Like they're trying to get him out of here and trying to smear his name and say horse medicine or whatever, when the reality is like it's like a proven doctor recommended, FDA, they've done studies on it to like lessen COVID symptoms.
Well, but the difficult thing is like, as far as ivermectin in human use, there is a version of it that is for human consumption.
Right.
Like that's just a thing. That
I think it's called Regeneron or Regeneron.
No, it's called ivermectin.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, that as far as I understand it, there hasn't been like proof that it helps against COVID. But that's the thing, is like some people will say there is, some people will say there isn't. I don't know.
And all I can say is I've seen the episode with the Joe Rogan podcast where he had an actual physician on there.
Right, but there's a lot, like, I'm not saying that was wrong, but there are a lot of sketchy people out there that are willing to say some bullshit for some level of clout.
Okay,
but I don't want to argue.
Yeah, no, we're not here to have that whole debate. I don't give a shit one way or the other. But what I will say is this, like if we just zoom out and we just take away all of the like the triggered like high pressure things that come along with mentioning COVID and ways to deal with it. Like, you wouldn't fucking call your friend like a dumbass if they were like, every time I get a cold, I eat like Hanukkah peanut butter or Hanukkah honey, take some elderberry and like drink some, tea, and I feel better right away. And they swear by it. They're like, you would be like, okay, cool. That actually, it could work. I don't know. Like there's conflicting things that maybe say that there's some merit to that, but you wouldn't be like, fuck you, that's not the way to deal with common cold or flu, like get out of here. That's Hanukkah honey, that's not even for human consumption most of the time, like it's just like, I don't know, it's just it's just a hot button topic that like we're getting off the rails here.
The issue, I think, it comes back to sort of what's going, like what we're talking about with comedy is that like it's rallying sides essentially. It's like, well, I know, like, okay, I'm performing in such and such town. It's a pretty liberal town. Okay. So here's what I need to say that is just going to touch on these topics that people are going to be like, fuck yeah, I like this guy. He's funny. He gets it. He's on my side. And you do the same thing as a comedian goes to a more conservative town. They're going to say some shit to get them riled up and like, yeah, fuck yeah, he gets it. Yeah. And it's pandering. It's just polarizing. Right. And for I
just want to hear a balanced approach, dude. That's all I want. Like, if somebody could give me like some stand up that like gives, like, that's why I like Bill Burr so much, is because he's just so
a dick to everybody. All the time.
And he's so reasonable and rational, and like he takes both sides on everything. Like he sat there and had like a 10-15 minute thing talking about, domestic abuse, which is like most people would not have survived that. But he was basically saying, I don't condone it, but then he was talking about, well, there's never a reason. Like, and not that I'm supporting that, but I'm just saying, like, it's part of comedy is like providing a unique perspective. And a lot of times when people hear shit that they've never heard, or rhetoric that they've never heard before, I feel like you get a more natural gut reaction. Like no one's trained to or not to laugh at that. Like it's more like, okay, if they're laughing at that, they're actually laughing at that because it's funny, not like clapping and whistling because you're fucking, like you said, pandering and just telling a joke that like 100 other guys have told.
Bill Burr is one of those people that like I watch it and I'm like, this guy's such a dick. But then also like I'm like, Fair, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I see what not everything. Sometimes I'm like, I think you're just kind of a dick. But he is very funny.
Yeah.
But what you were saying earlier, to go back to cancel culture.
Yeah.
People talk about that a lot, and that's such like a hot button topic, but like I don't feel like anyone's ever truly effectively been canceled. Like, look at the shit with like Mel Gibson. Like, look, like we know what he did and what he said.
Yeah.
And what he's still like winning awards and like being an actor in movies. Like he was in like Daddy's Home 2, I think shit, that's actually a pretty old reference, but still, he's still acting, he's still directing, he's winning awards, and it's like, but he wasn't canceled. Like nobody's ever truly canceled.
I guess that's true, but then when you use like the Mel Gibson approach, like how much does that guy get just annually from just A&E playing Die Hard like 30 times a day?
But that's the thing, like someone
not
on
Die
that
Hard
level can never be canceled. But the thing is, like, even if he was set up for life, he could have disappeared.
That's what I'm saying. Like he was too big to fail anyways.
But the thing is, we could have been like, hey, we're not like Hollywood could have been like, no, we're done with this dude. Like anti-Semite, like this dude's a bad dude. Yeah. And I think he's a bad person.
Right.
Like straight up, like I think he is. But they were like, yeah, but it's Mel Gibson. Come on.
And he's a super great director, to his credit, I think.
I haven't watched any of his movies.
Really? You haven't seen The Patriot?
No, actually. Well, no, I might have seen I don't remember.
Oh, man.
But, after that kind of stuff, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Some people I don't need to watch every movie is kind of how I look at it. And if there's people like that I'm just kind of like, I'm not like boycotting them. I'm not going to tell people not to watch it. But for me, I'm just like, I don't feel like I need to. There's so many movies out there.
I guess it's just the attempt and like how certain guys have to like not do shows to for a while, and then it affects their income. Like I guess you could say no one's like permanently been canceled, but also it's so new that we haven't seen it effective long enough. Like how long was Mel Gibson inactive after that voicemail came out? Like it had to be a decade. I think that was post Passion of the Christ, and then you didn't hear from the dude for like
letters
a decade
or whatever. I think was
so
no, that was Clint Eastwood. Never mind. I think
I
don't know.
they're trying to get Dave Chappelle out of here. He's too big to fail. Rogan's too big to fail.
But that's a thing. Like you said, like, oh, they're trying to cancel them, but they're too big to fail. But like that seems to be pretty much everybody, or they just like find another avenue to like TJ Miller is another person that was like, I don't know what he did, but like people were like canceling him. But he's doing a tour that I keep getting advertisements.
Is that the dude from SNL?
No.
Okay,
well,
so
I don't think so.
There's a guy that was on SNL for like one season, and he was really fucking funny.
Yeah, I know.
Forgive me, I don't know his name. He said something that was like pro Trump.
Yeah.
And like they acted like, he was like quoting Hitler or some shit.
Which doesn't make any sense because SNL also had Trump on.
Right. Well,
so like to me, it's like, yeah.
And then their argument is, well, not everything we do ages well, like that was then, this is now.
But it was like, I'm pretty sure he was on when Trump was. I don't know. It was around the same time. But yeah,
I don't know.
Because Trump was on right before like he was president, right?
I don't. It's possible, but I think
it was something like it was right around that time.
Just the fact that people basically having nothing to do with policy or anything else, just what he did Twitter wise, and then maybe some of the stuff he did with like the internment camps with the wall and shit. I get that's a big deal, but he didn't really do a lot of things that people were afraid he was going to do. And then, because he's such an asshole on Twitter and was talking shit to everybody, they're like, look, see, this is proof that we were right the whole time. It's like oh, look at the policy. Like what
Yeah, but know. Like it's a way bigger topic, and I'm not.
We're not political pundits, so we're idiots.
I think he probably did more, and like just based on like abusing his power as president was a bigger issue. I think that's what I saw. That like shit he did that like no one else could get away with. He did it because he was president, or like, one big thing was who was the dude that also worked for Nixon? That
the whole the guy that tried to put the kibosh on Watergate.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but I know exactly.
Stone.
Yeah.
I can't remember his first name.
Roger Stone.
Roger Stone. Yeah. Like pardoning Roger Stone for like very obvious real crimes, shit like that. Where I'm like, yo, dude, like, what? Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get on all that.
Yeah, I don't know. We I don't know. That's how a lot of our conversations go.
It all kind of it's evolving into
bleeds
politics,
together,
yeah.
and it has nothing to do with what we started with. But yeah, we got to get ready for the show. Actually, it's 6:06 right now. I'm not even gonna watch this. I'm just gonna put this shit out.
Yeah.
Phil, do you care to tell them about your Instagram or
no?
Okay. Don't look for Phil.
I guess Too Phil, Too Furious.
Too Phil, Too Furious. That's the best handle ever. Don't tell me you have a better handle than Too Phil, Too Furious. Yeah, Garage Goons episode 15. I think I put education in the description, which if you think you learned anything from this, just like try not to remember it and forget it because you probably lost brain cells. But yeah, Kill Switch Engage tonight. Maybe we'll do a review show or something. Trying to get a hold of a pro boxer and a pro NFL football player that I'm friends with in real life and on Facebook, but mostly on Facebook now. So we'll see how all that goes. But yeah, man, Garage Goons episode 15, still the most trash show on YouTube. And, like, comment, subscribe if you want. If not, then hit the like button twice. And I think that will take your like away. And if you hit it 3 times, I don't know. You guys can figure it out. But all right, guys, I think we are out of here. And end stream. You can get up. It's fine. It's just